couple other questions, and then we'll wrap things up here. I guess we haven't addressed this in depth. So what do I journal about? Like what do I really journal about? Do I just free form write, or what do I, and you've given a lot of different good ideas here, but what other ideas might there be? Because I mean, I can think of some of my own. You can get, and I'll even put a link in the show notes to an article that has good journaling prompts.
Yep.
It's like 50 good journaling prompts. And you can just pick randomly a number out of from 1 to 50 and then just write something. I mean, that randomly, or you can, my legacy jar I've used to journal, I've just picked a question out of that and I've journaled on that. It's one activity you can do, but I know that gets people stuck quite a bit. So what thoughts do you have on that?
Well, I've at different times I've done different things. For a while, I wrote about people that had an important place in my life and some of the characteristics of them. I have vacillated sometimes between work things and personal things. There's always something going on at work that you can write about or personal things. I listen to a lot of podcasts, like I mentioned before, so that's always a sort. Good books. If you read something that day from a book, that's something you can write down that will cause you to think.
Any books that have helped you more than others with journaling?
I couldn't say right offhand which
They're
one.
not necessarily specific. They're not books about journaling. They're other topics.
Right.
Gotcha.
Any kind of book, really. I read a lot. And like I say, if I'm going to church, if you hear a sermon or you have that interaction with somebody, those are good things to write about. I find, so there's really nothing's off limits that you can write about, which.
What I do is I start my day, I write down my daily 5 and 5, then I write down something I'm worried about the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And so I like to do it in the morning, and then whatever that is, because I wake up pretty negative usually.
Right.
That's not where I wake up like dreading whatever, and I'm not a positive person in the morning. And so if I can write down and just get it on paper, this is really what I'm worried about today, and then I can write down what I can and cannot control about it. And then what a healthier perspective might be. If I'm really stuck, then I start answering questions like, is that worry true? How would I act? How am I acting because I believe it's true? Who would I be if I didn't have this thought, if I could let go of it? What's a healthier, better perspective? And then what's one action I can take? And I've really thought and toyed with doing a blog post that has my journals for a week and then kind of like deleting it so people could come in and kind of see and peek into what I write about maybe. Yeah. But then I thought, would I really write honestly at that point?
That's right. You want to be honest about it.
I mean, I probably hold back on some things that I'm because then I think, man, Adam's worried. I'm gonna listen to this podcast. Adam's worried about something silly, I mean, or I'm not talking to that guy. He's a wacko.